Sleep like a baby.
Released as London Dogs in Japan and as Gangsters, Sex and Karaoke in France, Love, Honour and Obey is a British gangster comedy. Made in the year 2000 during a time when Guy Ritchie's Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels caused a wave of UK crime caper films to be made. Directed by two of its stars, Ray Burdis and Dominic Anciano, between the second and third series of their successful BBC sitcom Operation Good Guys, and filmed in the same style, with the cast improvising their dialogue.
While you sleep, there's a whole world coming alive.
There isn't a great deal in the way of overarching plot in this film. It's made up of several little plots.
When I was a child, I was terrified of insects. Horrible, crawling, foul things. Especially flies. But my best friend Jude taught me how to conquer this fear. First we caught them, then we touched them, and before long we could hold them. They even pull their wings off.
We open on Johnny, played by Johnny Lee Miller. He's dressed as a sad clown and he narrates for us. He tells us the story of how his friend Jude, played by Jude Law, used to pull the wings off flies. This feels like an incredibly important fact which will come back in the story at some point. But it doesn't.
Jude explained it wasn't an act of cruelty. It was an act of discipline. When I pulled those wings off, I realised he was right.
More important is Jude is now working for his gangster uncle, Ray, played by Ray Winston. Whilst he works as a courier, Johnny begs Jude to let him join his gang with a credit card scheme which quickly gets him crowned as the new golden boy. But as we know from all gangster films, this won't last long.
You mean to say you haven't had a hard-on in 4 months?
Burdis and Anciano are dim-witted bouncers at Ray Winston's karaoke bar. Burdis is having trouble with erectile dysfunction, leading Anciano to offer him some terrible advice, which Burdis repeatedly follows despite it having a low success rate. Ray, Jude's uncle, is getting married to Sadie, played by Sadie Frost, so he delegates Mark, played by Mark Burdis, to organise it for him. Mark instantly turns effeminate for some unknown reason and discovers that Sadie wants diamonds, which Ray then has to steal.
And there, in front of everyone, is an iced swan, which obviously represents monogamy, okay?
Meanwhile, actress Sadie is having on-set tensions with a cast member that her boyfriend doesn't like, so she decides to quit, leading to a mini-scandal, which is sorted out with a quick punch-up.
I thought you said he was a backdoor merchant.
It's a fucking screen kiss.
Oh, well, she just opened them out when they're busy.
Oh, shut up.
A screen kiss, your tongue's halfway down his throat. What, have you been going home mething out tonight? Don't make yourself busy. Go away, or I'll cut your face off. Go away.
Sean, played by Sean Pertwee, is the leader of a rival gang. He's livid because Johnny, in an effort to remain the best at gangstering, stole his cocaine. This leads to a turf war and possibly the most exciting scene in the film.
Fucking hell, he shot me in the head. He shot me in the fucking head. He shot me in the head. Let me have a look. Let me see. He has. Look, it's coming up the back. Scratch. He's gone right the way through. Like a burning all of his fucking lights out of an eye. Come on! Okay, it's all up here! Ellen, can you hear me? Get the big boys out of bed!
But it all comes together at Ray's wedding, which I won't discuss should you actually want to see this movie. The cast is a who's who of British acting talent. Ray Winstone, Johnny Lee Miller, Perry Benson, Kathy Burke, Sadie Frost, Ray Burdis, Reese Fans and Sean Pertwee are all actors I love. Bill Scully, who hasn't done a lot of screen acting either before or after this movie, is very convincing in a tough guy role. There are, however, members of the supporting cast whose performances don't convince.
Total is, £4,225.
My round, isn't it? No, I insist I'll get it because I've got the platinum.
Let's just look at this scene quickly. For starters, this is meant to be a high-end clothes store. The set looks more like a dry cleaner's. But it's the actor behind the counter which breaks the scene for me.
You're too kind. There you go, stick that through, mate, and put a little bit on for yourself.
That's fine, sir, thank you. Oh. I'm sorry, Miss Smith. Your card's been rejected.
He didn't try that card properly. He didn't see that card rejected. I've worked in shops. Cards get rejected all the time. He has a laugh, and he's desperate to get to it.
Get your kicks in right! No, quick, enough! Come on, out, come on, out.
Burdis and Anciano directed this film together as they did Operation Good Guys in their first film, Final Cut. The thing is, those previous productions were mock documentaries. This one is a strange halfway house. It still utilises improvised dialogue, but because it's not set up as a documentary, the odd fades to black in the middle of a scene makes the film feel like it's salvaged rather than made. There's little in the way of establishing the scene or coverage, with whole scenes playing out in a single take, often fading out so not to visually clang against the next image. Maybe this is a sign of filmmaking in the year 2000. Now this would be shot with 2 or more cameras and edited much faster.
Oh, there's no signal.
Here we go. Fucking give him.
Let's look at this scene with Johnny and Jude after stealing the drugs. Firstly, am I to believe that's Johnny's bedroom? A 20-something-year-old man sleeping in a single bed in a room that looks like it's decorated by his nan? Secondly, where's the frenzied feeling? They've just killed 2 men and stolen their drugs. Why is the camera so passive? This is supposed to be a sex shop. A sex shop. Honestly, it looks like a back room somewhere. Glue a couple of porn mags to the wall and that's your sex shop. Did your location drop out at the last moment, or were you just not bothered?
Shut up. Go and make me a cup of tea.
This scene is actually rather nicely framed. It works with the improvised nature of the film because your eyes dart from left to right like a tennis match as they talk. And Jude improvises a couple of really good lines in this scene too. The thing that bugs me most about it is the horrible big red eyesore of a car between them. My eyes keep going to that big red monstrosity. Get someone out there to move it!
Honestly think that this would work, and I think that if you gave me the chance to put it to your uncle, then he'd go for it, I do.
This is not to say that it's all bad. The film has an energy to it, an upbeat spirit. The karaoke scenes are all great fun, Sean Pertwee's Fireball XL5 being a personal favourite. The idea of robbing a jeweller's with a stiffy had me howling with laughter at the time. And ultimately that's what this film is, a laugh. Everyone in it is clearly having a good time. And if you're in the right mood, that can be quite infectious.
Out the window!
Run! Run!
I was at college when this film came out, just about to go to university the following year, and it reminds me of the student films we made in those times. A load of 20-somethings with toy guns pretending to be tough guys. This film didn't really do well at the box office. The gangster craze of the time had started to wane, and this film wasn't highly regarded enough to warrant a big push. Burdis and Anciano did have a third film in the works for a while, but I assume their financial backing disappeared. Burdis went on to direct and act in several more films, but Anciano's career turned towards music events, directing Niles Barkley live from the Astoria. So do I recommend this movie? Well, it's fun, but I'm not sure it's good. But there are much worse things to be than fun. I'm Scott Kingsnorth, and I'm making a movie.